I've been involved all my life. My family, my mum and dad had a holiday letting business, so I really grew up with it. Had a patch when I was away in London living, but when I returned back, started again with just a pair of holiday lets attached to our main family home, but then inherited with one of my brothers 3 houses in a row, and we started a development afterwards and started this build in 2014. So it's been sort of throughout my life. We're at the point now where we thought we'd finished all building, but now we've got one last house to do. But we've also developed the properties we already had, the existing houses. So they've all been refurbished. So we're now looking at probably 8 years of work. 2014, we started this house, 11 months to build, came online 2015, and basically built one house a year. We couldn't afford to build multiple houses all in one go and take all 3 properties out of holiday letting. So we spotted houses in, but built one at a time, brought that online, moved on to the next house, built that, either brought that online or we have sold at least one house that we built. It's a long old project. Well, there was a little girl here once who was staying, and I've repeated this story several times, but I think they'd realised that we owned quite a few properties, and the family had clearly been talking about me. They'd made a call because they needed help in here, so I came down. And the little girl's comment was, "You're really rich." And I just said to her, "But I work really hard." So clearly they'd looked at all the properties and thought, "Wow, that one's really nice. This one we're staying in is really nice. Wow, if that's owned by one person, they are clearly quite wealthy." But in actual fact, I work really hard. And the customer and the client, the guest, always comes first. So in some ways, yes, there's huge investments, but they don't know the background to that. Perhaps the borrowing from banks, the investment that's needed to go in. They just see a lovely house and think you're really wealthy. It's not like that at all. But the other side of it is, and you never want your guests to know about your business and how things are going, but yeah, I work really hard. I just do. And because I want them all to have a lovely holiday. What makes a holiday let business successful? I think it's an eye for detail. You just want your property right. I mean, if you set your property up right at the beginning of the year, January, February, March, when all the hard work happens, if you can run it throughout the season and very little goes wrong, you're grateful. You don't have a washing machine flooding or something like that. It's really attention to detail. Always put the guests first. I always come and see the guests to just say hello so that they know my face, and really try and get everything right. But it's the upkeep as well. We don't ever sit back and do nothing. January and February, March is our time when we get into the properties and we do the things that we want to do to them like this property, built in 2014, repainted every year. It's had a full redecoration last year, one of our others. It's a rolling programme of maintenance. And it's sort of, it is planning a year ahead. We know what we're doing, funnily enough, in one of our other properties. We know we're replacing fascia boards and things like that. We know now, so we know we're going to scaffold that building next year and do that, all new gutters, things like that. It's actually on your mind all the time. What can we do better for the guests? What can we do so that when they arrive, they see new things? So if they've been coming for many years, you just don't want something that's static. If they've paid their money, try and at least put something back for the following year so there is a slight improvement. It doesn't matter what it is, it could be new cushions. We've got new garden furniture here just come in. Just something that they think that what their money they've spent, that they're seeing a slight return for year on year. And just don't let your properties go downhill. Monitor them, look at them, be in them. You don't have to sleep in them. just be in them and be aware of what could be going wrong. Cleaners are great because the cleaners will look at your properties and tell you if something's broken, hopefully, and then just to attend to it straight away. Why do we use an agency? We use Sykes because it's high profile. I've been using them since our second holiday let that we built came online. We had been using a local agent, but wasn't totally happy with the profile it had and how people would find it. So we went for a national agency because I believed that it was higher in the search engine. So when people were clicking or Googling St Ives holiday accommodation or holiday lets or self-catering, what was at the top was Sykes. So I believed that people would potentially look there first. So I was happy. I did a bit of research on Sykes. I looked at their properties. I realised that they actually didn't have many or any properties in St Ives. So that was a bonus for me. So I approached them. The regional manager came round. I liked him. He was great. So we put our secondly built holiday let online, let that run for the year. And within that year, saw the income was really good. Very happy with Sykes, professionalism. And then this one that we built first, I moved away from the local agent and moved to Sykes. And to be honest, every house we've built since then, and our existing ones we'd redeveloped, they all went online with Sykes, all of them. And even the two new semis that are coming online in July, they're going with Sykes as well. What piece of advice? Well, if you're building, don't be scared of changing. If you're going through a building project, don't be scared of making changes. If your architect has designed your property, they've just designed a house. They don't know how guests live in a house. So if you have thoughts where you think it could be better for a guest, like our wall coming down and us just rearranging the house, be bold about it, because this made the house what it is. In regards, if you're buying a holiday let and you're setting up as a business, attention to detail, really. And don't forget to just try and look at your properties as guests look at it. Look at your property once a year, see what you can do, plan ahead what you can do when it's in the quiet times, November, December, January, and try and upkeep your properties. Don't let them slide. It's really easy to build something and think, oh, that's 10 years maintenance free. It's not. You know, everything needs looking at and really invest in your properties. It might mean you make less profit, but try and keep your property in a tip-top shape. Regarding the new build, we weren't actually planning to do any more new builds, but unfortunately one of our original 3 properties had structural issues. So we had a surveyor that came in and said, you know, you've got a certain life on this property. And we actually decided that it was a 3 apartments in one house. And we just decided it was probably better to knock it down and rebuild something that was what guests now want. So we went back to planning and decided that we were going to just build 2 semis, not dissimilar to one property we've already got, Gadrivi, that we found worked really well. So each of them are 3 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms, shower rooms, reverse living, so that you come in, go up the staircase, and you've got your main living on the first floor to take advantage of the amazing views over St Ives Bay. So we weren't actually planning. We thought we'd finished all our building, and then 2 more. But it's fine. It just forms another part of our portfolio. It means we can move forward with all our properties are fairly new, or they've been refurbished. So once we finish these 2, that is it. There is no more to do. It's just a matter of maintenance then. But no, it's really weird because we've had a couple of years break from building and then going back to it again. And yeah, having a good team building is essential. working with them, making decisions quickly, promptly. Luckily, I've got a bit of experience in the development and the projects here, so it all helps, and hopefully we can get it right. And it's what guests want. These are not built for residential use, they're built as holiday lets, as all of ours have been. So they are built slightly differently, probably less closed storage, wardrobes in rooms, but really, built to maximise family time together and take advantage of views. Okay, this is our latest project, or hopefully our last project. These are 2 new semis. There was an original house here, not dissimilar to the size of this, in the plot size, which was a house divided into 3 apartments, probably built about 100 years ago and had structural issues. And we had a surveyor come out, check it, and we had about 5 or 6 years life left on the building. We decided then to knock down and rebuild as the 2 semis, and we took them out of action as holiday lets in mid-September. Had asbestos, found asbestos, had that removed, and it was demolished around about the middle of November. This is the state we're at now, which is middle of March. So we hope the project will finish early July, ready for the season. But 2 bedrooms, upside down living, so 3 bedrooms on the ground floor, 2 shower rooms, 1 bathroom, so two shower rooms, and the living, the kitchen and dining on the first floor. We have a loft, so we've sort of future-proofed it. We're not using the loft space now. It's capable, say in 5 years if we wanted to convert it, put a staircase up. We're insulating it, having it ready, but we're not using it like that at the moment as a holiday let. So 3 bedroomed, sleep 6. We're actually now in one of the semis, downstairs on the ground floor in one of it's the ensuite bedroom, so it's the master bedroom. The ensuite's there. These are timber frame houses. We've never built timber frame before, but we really picked timber frame because it'd be faster than block work, and our previous houses had all been block work. But what we really noticed, the change was the building regs that came in late last year actually. But Kevin, site manager, knows more about that.
Yeah, well they changed the building regulations last year, and prior to that, Liz getting planning permission to rebuild these after the demolition. So basically the regulations have changed quite dramatically over those 6 months. Now we're having to comply with new regulations, and obviously things have changed, i.e. triple glazing, insulation values, etc. going up, and it's changed quite a lot of the structural part of the buildings to comply with them.
We're now actually in the second semi. This one's called Lanyon, and the first one on the other side is called Treen. They're Cornish names, and they represent the Cornish standing stones in Cornwall, or certainly in the Penwith area. We decided on nice Cornish names that would actually mean something. But yes, this is the second, or the ensuite to Lanyon House. But what we realised and what we found in this project is the building regs are really quite tricky. We wanted to put gas boilers in, but we can't do that. We've got to go air source heat pumps, which brings its own problems. From the very, very beginning, I always thought that air source heat pumps would cause a problem in being able to generate hot water for the guests. These each sleep 6, so if the guest has 6 showers in the morning, would an air source heat pump be able to cope with generating enough hot water for those showers and returning back from the beach and then generating enough water for 6 showers in the evening? We think we might have solved that actually. We had a team in a couple of days ago, and we're going for solar thermal, which is putting panels on the roof that will actually, when the sun shines, will generate hot water, will help the cylinder, and we should be able to generate our own hot water during the daytime. One on one side of the roof, one on the other. So when the sun rises, so this side will pick up at say 5 o'clock in the morning, potentially. Then as the sun transfers onto the other side of the house, the second solar panel, thermal panel, will pick up the sun later on in the day. We're praying that we'll be able to generate enough hot water for the guests. And in addition to that, we've got an extra shower on the first floor, which is going to be an electric shower. So if all fails with the air source heat pump, we've got a backup. So hopefully that will work. We're trying really hard to future-proof the house. So what we're doing is, when we went to planning, we don't want to use the loft space. We're just using the ground floor in the first floor, not putting a staircase up, but the loft is there for the future. We could actually put another bedroom in there and a shower room potentially, but we're not doing that at the moment. But what we are doing is we're putting in EV points to each of the properties, the semis, ready for the visitors coming down with their electric cars. We've put actually in, we've already put 3 in to our existing houses. They're up and running. We don't get great usage at the moment, but we've had some guests using them, and one of our existing houses, we're putting one in the next couple of weeks. So then we'll have, how many is that? 3, 4, we'll have 6 of our properties with EV points. Timber frame building, they've just actually today covered in over the roof. So that's, in the poor things, in all the rain. And you can see the block work going up. So the blocks are ready. They've almost finished the whole of the ground floor. They now moved the blocks up onto the scaffolding for the first floor, and they'll be blocking the whole up into the top floor, the loft. So yes, the roof was all open this morning, but it's now all closed in, and hopefully the roofer will be here next week and he'll start making it watertight. All the glazing has been ordered, the doors have been ordered. So yeah, we've got carpenters inside now putting the door frames in. So yeah, we want the project to move on really fast because we're hoping we'll get a summer season out of the 2 semis. But yeah, a lot of guys on site. It's rained most of the morning, but they managed to finish the block work today, as much as they wanted to do today. They'll be back tomorrow. The project started in mid-September. The old property we took out of action on about the 17th of September. We had asbestos checks on it, and it was found that we did have asbestos. That took a while to get the report done, assessment, the report, and then we had to bring in asbestos removal guys. They did that, and the demolition started in the middle of November. We're now up to about the 15th of March, 15th, 16th of March, and we hope this project will finish in 3 months' time. So we're looking at the early part of July for the project to actually finish. The problem we've really found with the project so far is the finding of the asbestos. You have to do that before you demolish a building, and this was the first building we ever demolished. Everything else of ours has been a new build, just in fresh ground. So yeah, we had to have a team come in. They did their assessment, wrote their report. There was minimal asbestos found, but we still had to employ a proper company that specialises in asbestos removal, and they did it. So that's delayed the project probably about a month from the beginning report, finding it, booking the company to come in and do it. So yeah, about a month's delay really. And one other problem we had with the project was just the foundations. We had to dig down deep to find good ground. What we had found was that the house before wasn't built 100 years ago on really good foundations. So that probably was why the house before was having issues with itself. It was just moving, I'd imagine, and cracking. So the guys have had to go well down to find good ground. Just up on the first floor, we're installing fixed pane glasses to the left and the right, and a sliding door in the middle, so you can walk straight out onto the balcony above the bedrooms here. We've decided not to have bifold doors. We do have bifold doors on some of our other properties, but actually we just don't think they have a good seal when they shut. So it's sliding doors here. They then can walk out. And this property, which is Lanyon, will actually have an extended balcony round the side of it because the sun goes down on that side, and we thought it benefits the guests to actually be able to sit slightly round the corner of the house and not see the sun actually go down, but get more benefit from the sun later on in the day. You've just walked through the main door on the ground floor into what will be the 3 bedrooms. So we've got 1 bedroom in here, which will have Zipper Mix Super King beds. They can be split apart, so you can get 2 single people in there. This is the master bedroom, which will have a king-size bed, and it has its ensuite shower room. Here you'll have a bedroom which will have 2 singles, zip and link, again can be put together to form three doubles in here. And this is the family shower room. We'll have a bath as well, but a step-in shower. And then this is where the staircase will be to go up to the first floor. You'll have the kitchen to the rear of the property, a dining table, and at the front you'll have the lounge with the wood burner in one corner and television on the wall. Television on the wall there, wood burner in the corner. This is your view, so you have 2 fixed panes of glass there with your sliding doors in the middle. You'll have a sofa here, a sofa there. This is the staircase coming up here, and then to the back of the house you have your kitchen. So we're going to have the fridge freezer here, and then the kitchen will run probably with the sink here, and then we'll have worktop running all the way along here with an induction hob and your double oven here. And then this is our spare shower room. This will be the room that has the electric shower in. So if all else fails and the air source heat pump can't generate enough water, hot water, then the guests can come and use this. This is our backup system really. So there'll be a toilet and basin in here and the shower. The project took 11 months to complete. We took the property that was here originally out of action in September, middle of September. We had to clearly demolish that, but we found asbestos, so that delayed it a little bit. It was actually demolished in December. The 2 houses were finished middle of July, but the groundwork took a little bit longer because it was quite complex. So really, it's less than 11 months. It was longer than we wanted, but yeah, I'd say 11 months. During the completion of the properties, we did come across a few snags. The building regs had actually changed in 2022, and we were almost the first property for our building controller that these had to apply to. So it took quite a bit of time to work out what would work and what wouldn't work. We didn't want the air source heat pumps, but actually we couldn't go with a gas boiler because of the building regs. And we tried to work through that, didn't work. We'd have had to do many more things to get it through building regs. So we actually went for the air source heat pumps. So yeah, a few snags, but nothing really major. The groundworks took a little bit longer. We had to go down deeper because the property that was here before had no foundations. It was a cracking building, not cracking, had cracks on it. And we decided when we saw the cracks, and we had a 5-year surveyor's report to say we should really knock it down within 5 years, we went early on it. And we made the right decision actually, because if we tried to repair it, we never would have found out that the foundations were compromised. So we did knock down. We had to go very deep down, probably an extra 1.5 meters to find good ground, and then come back up, which was much more expensive, took more time, but it was part of the building project. So yeah, there were a few snags. I think the building regs thing was the most irritating, because actually we didn't really get what we wanted in a few things, like the air source heat pump. We'd never have picked those, would have gone for a gas boiler, but we just we couldn't. And so that's our slight compromise, but that was forced on us. How did we overcome these issues? Well, we worked really hard with our contractor and also the building regs guys. We would go between ourselves. I'd go back to the building company. They would then go back to the building regs guys, and we'd forward back until we came up with a plan that we think worked. We've had that with all our projects, but I think this was because the building regs had changed. It was painful sometimes. But yeah, you know, at the end of the day, we've got a really good product, and we're very, very happy. Is there anything we'd have done differently on the build? No, I don't think there is. We've got everything that we want. We planned meticulously from the beginning. We, before we went into planning, we decided we were going to future-proof the houses. Therefore, we've got the loft space above us. You know, in 5 years, 10 years, 20 years time, it's there for us to develop. We put the windows in so that we wouldn't have to go back to planning again for windows in the roof and then have issues with neighbours. So they're in there now, no arguments in the future. We just would have to knock a hole in the ceiling in this room, just over there above the staircase, and go up, and then we can develop it upstairs. So no, actually really, really happy. They're my favourites at the moment. Of all the houses that we built, for the moment, they're my favourites. Did we complete on budget? The answer is no, we didn't. I don't want to say exactly how much. The groundworks took a lot because we were doing extra things. We wanted to get the properties right. We don't want to revisit in a year's time to put all the equipment in for the hot tubs. We wanted it done now so that we leave the properties alone. And we can actually basically order a hot tub tomorrow, stick it on the decking, it's been reinforced, we've got the power there, and within probably a day it could be up and running. So we've done a lot to these properties that we hadn't thought we were going to do, but during the process of building, you know, we always knew we were going to have a loft but not have the guests use it. But we've done things like we've boarded it out, it's all insulated, it's ready to go forward. We've done a lot, I think, because really we don't want to revisit the properties, mess around with them, but get it right now. And I think that in the end will probably save money. You know, we don't have to dig up the decking, it's all ready. That's ready if we want to go up there. But yeah, just leave the properties alone and let them run for several years, and let them do their job. What would deter other people? Probably financially. I think you've got to really work out whether it's financially worthwhile to you. If you've got to go and buy a plot and then you've got to develop it, at the end of the day, is that going to be a profitable either business or concept, whether it's a holiday let or whether you're just building it to sell it? And we just noticed that things had actually gone up a huge amount in the 5, 6, 7 years between the first build and this last 2 builds. So I think sit down and work out, have a contingency fund as well. Try not to change too many things going through the budget, through the project, because your builders might not be too happy, but you're wasting money. So if you can get right and plan first what you want, what's the need of the property, how you're going to use it, how other people are going to be in it, you might save a lot of money by doing that. We changed very little in here. We already had an idea what we wanted, and we think it works. Would I recommend building a holiday let? Yes, I would. You get what you want. You get really what you want. You can do anything that you want as long as the planning agree with you. But yeah, you know, you would get to fit the property to what you think your guests want, you know, so be a little bit quirky or not quirky, or do the wraparound balcony like we did. I'd recommend it. Holiday lets, yeah, build yourself if you can, if you know, financially, but have a long-term plan. You know, It might not work out, you might not get the guests you want, you might not get the income you want, but you might have to sell in the end, but you know, have a plan B. What advice would I give someone doing something similar? Just plan. You know, right from the very beginning, get right what you want from the property and what your guests would want from the property. So even before it goes to planning, put in everything that you want. Obviously we had the air source heat pump issue that during the building process or the building regs change, we ended up with that. But we did something slightly different. We already had in our planning a utility room on this floor which had a toilet so that people on this level didn't have to go downstairs. We changed that room from being a washer-dryer room to a shower room. Had the toilets, got the basins, got the shower, it's got an electric shower so that we've got the capacity so that even if the cylinder runs out of water, our guests can never come back to us and say we didn't have any hot water for a shower. We have it for them. It might stop something in the future, a complaint in the future. So I always think that was a big part of the planning. We don't want any complaints. So yeah, think really hard. And that was something we changed within the building. It wasn't a really big deal. You know, it went from what was going to be a utility room off the kitchen to a shower room. We then moved the washer dryer downstairs to a cupboard by the front door, which was already there. It backs onto the bath and a bathroom. That worked really well. And to be honest, without realising, everybody washes and showers generally downstairs. That's where all the generation of the dirty clothes is. So it's actually next door to your bedrooms and your bathrooms. So and then you're just straight out the door to a line. Take into account the cost of furnishing it afterwards. We've done quite a few properties, but everything costs so much money. You know, a guest wants to walk in here and have everything that they really have at home. So like the beds are so expensive. Buy good quality beds. Commercial sofas, these are commercial sofas, hopefully they'll last the distance. But everything at the end, you think you've nearly finished, but you haven't, because furnishing the houses costs thousands. So have enough money to be able to do it properly. So what motivates me most? Sounds really corny, but I want people to have a good time. I really want people to come on holiday, enjoy the time, in the properties that we've got, go away and look back on it fondly. You know, as I said, we've got people who've been here coming, not necessarily in my time, but 40 years of usage with some guests. I really want people to have a good time and I want them to come back. It's really as simple as that. I love getting good reviews. They've had a 5-star stay. Just have a good time. I mean, I can't make them have a good time. You know, they've got to get on as a family, you know, and that could throw it out. But if you produce a product that people are actually happy to come to, they really like, they're really impressed, you're halfway there to them having a good time. You know, they're content with what they've got. They go out, they have a good time, they come back, they have fond memories, and really that's what it's all about. I just want them to have a good time.